Good morning, friends, my colleagues and fellow citizens of India. Today, I would like to share my views on the ongoing controversy on the Uniform Civil Code and what Babasaheb Ambedkar said on Uniform Civil Code. As we know well that the 22nd Law Commission issued notification on 14/6/2023 seeking the views of the public, religious organizations and all stakeholders on the issue of Uniform Civil Code, which generated nationwide controversy. While opposition parties slammed the move by describing it Modi government's desperation for a justification of its continuing agenda of polarization of society and diversion from its glaring failures, the BJP defended it as it is mandated by the directive principles of the state policy. As we know well, Uniform Civil Code is one of the ideological standpoints of the BJP and its mentor RSS. It defends its move by saying that different property and matrimonial laws for the people of different religions and denominations are an affront to the national unity, and on this aspect they try to appropriate the name of Babasaheb Ambedkar by saying that Babasaheb Ambedkar, being the chief architect of the Constitution of India, is a strong votary of Uniform Civil Code and incorporated the same in Article 44 of the Constitution of India, that is Directive Principles of State Policy, which lays down that the state shall endeavour to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. The timing of raking up this controversy is very significant. It is the regular feature of the present government whenever its failures are mounting and becomes the focal point of public discussion. It creates controversy by raising divisive and communal issues and generate debate in the public domain to divert the attention of the people from main issues by misusing power, institutions and agencies which are being increasingly filled and manned by its own cronies. The glaring failure of this double Indian government in Manipur in preventing ethnic clashes and suppression of the tribals and its blatant support to the accused in women wrestlers case were the subject of animated discussion in and outside India. Hence, this sudden move of creating controversy over Uniform Civil Code, which was almost kept aside by the 21st Law Commission in the year 2008. The 21st Law Commission published a 185-page consultation paper on reforms of family law in August 2018 and categorically said that the Uniform Civil Code is neither necessary nor desirable at this stage, and argued for the reform of family laws of every religion through amendments and codification of certain aspects so as to make them gender just and equal. In its consultation paper on family reform, the 21st Law Commission took a stand in favor of equality within the communities between men and women, what is called personal laws reform, rather than equality between communities, that is Uniform Civil Code, and further noted that the women must be guaranteed their freedom of faith without any compromise on their right to equality, as it would be unfair to make women to choose between one or the other. The 22nd Law Commission notification does not refer to the consultation paper of its predecessor commission, and instead of making its recommendation and without assigning any valid reason for ignoring the consultation paper, asked for fresh deliberations over the subject, which is really perplexing. I will take up the merits and demerits and intent of the present exercise and its ramifications, which is obviously at the instance of the Modi government, in a separate article. In this talk or article, I would like to enlighten the public as to what was the idea, intent and message of Babasaheb Ambedkar in advocating Uniform Civil Code and incorporating it in Article 44 in Directive Principles of the State Policy, and which was the draft Constitution was Article 35, and how deceitfully the RSS-led Modi government is trying to appropriate Babasaheb Ambedkar to defend his stand on Uniform Civil Code, and how its own clan thwarted the moves to bring reform in Hindu laws to bring equality of all social groups, women and men in respect of marriage, property and divorce, etc. The first Law Minister of Independent India and Chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee Babasaheb Ambedkar supported and advocated Uniform Civil Code, no doubt about it. But he was very mindful of the apprehensions and objections of religious minority communities. On 23rd November 1948, during the discussions on the Uniform Civil Code in the Constituent Assembly, he said, that is Article 35, now Article 44 of the Directive Principles of the State Policy, he said, does not say that after Uniform Civil Code is framed, the state shall enforce it upon all its citizens, and merely because they are citizens, and sought to reassure the minority members of the Constituent Assembly by saying that the future Parliament may in the beginning make a provision that code shall apply only to those who declare that they are prepared to bound by it. In other words, initially, the application of the Uniform Civil Code may be purely voluntary. Thus, Babasaheb Ambedkar felt that the Uniform Civil Code could be introduced as a voluntary code and that the Parliament would certainly not force citizens to follow it. While asserting that the state has power and jurisdiction to legislate on personal laws, he also said that all that the state is claiming in this matter is a power to legislate. There is no obligation upon the state to do away with personal laws. There is no obligation to do away with on the state to do away with personal laws. It is only giving power. Therefore, no one need to be apprehensive that if state has power, the state shall immediately proceed to execute or enforce that power in a manner that may found to be objectionable by the Muslim, Christian or any other community in India. Therefore, in terms of Uniform Civil Code and freedom of religion, Babasaheb Ambedkar appreciated the feelings of all the members of the House, that is Constituent Assembly, especially Muslim leaders, about Uniform Civil Code. He in turn reminded them that sovereignty is always limited, and in exercise of that power, state must reconcile itself to the sentiments of different communities. In other words, even if the state could legislate on the matters related to personal law, the right to practice and profess one's religion would remain as a fundamental right, and that the union government would not use its powers to ride roughshod over the sentiments or apprehensions of the minorities. He declared that no government can exercise its power in such a manner as to provoke Muslim community or religious minorities to rise in rebellion. I think it would be a mad government if it did so. That's what he said. I think it would be a mad government if it did so. But that is a matter which relates to the exercise of power and not the power itself. Babasaheb Ambedkar, as a law minister, brought a comprehensive Hindu Code Bill to reform the conservative Hindu society as a first step towards Uniform Civil Code by giving equal rights to women in respect of marriage, property, divorce, etc. But the traditionalists of Hindu Mahasabha and even the Congress leaders, including the Constituent Assembly chairman and the first president of independent India, Babu Rajendra Prasad, opposed the reforms, resulting in the exit of Babasaheb Ambedkar from the Jawaharlal Nehru cabinet, as the then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru could not even utter a protest of word and backtrack to the pressures of his own Congress leaders. Babasaheb Ambedkar's advocacy and views on Uniform Civil Code were shaped by his political philosophy, which was emphasized the importance of individual freedom, rationality and equality. He believed that the personal laws based on religion and ethnicity were irrational and violated individual freedom and more particularly perpetuated gender inequality by treating women as inferior to men. He saw Uniform Civil Code is an important tool to achieve a truly secular, democratic and equal society, ensuring social and economic justice. Can the Modi government understand this basic intent and object of Babasaheb Ambedkar in advocating in having Uniform Civil Code? And is it really intent to adopt its way of thinking in formulating its policy in bringing out a legislation on Uniform Civil Code? Or is it simply using and appropriating his name, that is name of Babasaheb Ambedkar, on Uniform Civil Code for public consumption and to bring about a partisan majoritarian Uniform Civil Code by using its numerical majority in Parliament to pursue and implement its majoritarian communal agenda by forcing it on the citizens. In such event, in Ambedkar's reckoning, it would be a mad government that tramples upon the legislative intent of Article 44 and goes against the intent of those leaders who drafted the Constitution of India, and it is indeed a wait and watch situation. Thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.